All right. Welcome, everybody. I'm Splendorio. And, the president's decided that I should lead you down a foolish path. And I've got 52 weeks to prove that that was the right place. So let's stand up. And Debbie Peck, could you please lead us in the pledge? Thank you. All right. We have a performance over Zoom by our songsters. I see Michael's here, but you want an intro, please, Mike?
Okay, no guitar. It feels good. But this is our first meeting with our new president, and there was a special request by our president. So Stu and I kind of put our heads together. Tim is out of town. So we tried to figure out if we were going to come in here and do it live, and it's not a live version. So you've got Stu at home who worked diligently on this until late last night and probably even this morning. So please join in. The words are up there. You might have to use your imagination, and that's the name of the song. All right. Get up here and
imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one. Love and happiness.
Thank you very much, fellas. That was great. And that was something I requested of them because apparently Rotary has a theme song this year because the first woman president, Jennifer Jones, who's from Canada, apparently talked Yoko Ono into licensing that song. So I don't know if we'll hear that again, but you can notice from the banner here, that is her theme. And we'll try to incorporate throughout the year, not only Imagine, but also women and empowering women, because I think that's important, not only for me personally, but I think for all of us here in Livermore. Next, my dear friend Paul Thompson with our thought.
Notice, please notice. You like that? There's a first for everything. On Paul, that's Mike. There is a first for everything. Today is Splen's 5th day as president of the Rotary Club of Livermore. and today is his first meeting. So allow me to be the first to wish him not just good luck in his presidency, but also to wish for him to enjoy these next 12 months, leading this club out of the pandemic-induced difficulties of the last few years. However, he has inherited a club in very good shape. Thanks should be given to the leadership of our last three presidents, Jay Davis, Carolyn Siegfried, and Ken Perrine, not to mention us, the poor souls who had to work under them. But first, some notable firsts. Martha Washington in 1789 was the very first First Lady of these United States of America. Sophie Blanchard in 1805 was the first lady to pilot a hot air balloon. Valentina Tereshkova in 1963 was the first lady in space. Edith Wharton, 1921, was the first lady to get a Pulitzer Prize for fiction for her Age of Innocence novel. Sandra Day O'Connor, 1981, was the first lady Supreme Court Justice. And Victoria Claflin Woodall in 1872 was the first lady to run for the presidency of the USA. She ran against Ulysses S. Grant with Frederick Douglass as her running mate. Jennifer Jones, 2022, First Lady President of Rotary International. This year, Rotary International has for its leader its first female president, Jennifer Jones, a Canadian, making this year a very auspicious one. And I believe this year will also be an auspicious one for this club. I would like for us to look at this year as a new beginning. New thoughts, new ideas, new people, new relationships, new actions, and new hopes. Today is to be our first club assembly. We are being asked what do we want from our club? So I am going to take this opportunity to state mine before anybody else can. I want us to continue to help people and communities, both here locally and internationally. I particularly am focused on three: the Polio Fund of RI, which started in 1986, our club's Nepalese Children's Fund in 1992, and our club's Grant Fund, which began as the Mini Grant Fund in 1993. So today, I am giving to all three: the Rotary Foundation for the Polio Fund, to the Nepalese Children's Fund, and to our club for the Grant Fund. Just a note, a polio virus was discovered in the UK recently. No infections. I think it was discovered in sewage. Please do not give up hope in this particular fund. The dollars we contribute is still saving lives. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mike. I'm sorry, Paul. Did that on purpose. Okay, so today there's no announcements, no acknowledgements, not because you're not worthy. This is the best club in the world, but I really wanted today to be a club assembly. And I asked Carolyn to lead us in a vision exercise, because honestly, it's not about me being president or your officers. It's about you. It's your club. And we need to hear from you. And whatever we decide we want to do this year or in the future, this is your opportunity. This won't be the first one. I suspect we'll have more, but that was what I intended for this. But I'm only going to give you with one goal, that this is the best damn 90 minutes you spend in your week. All right. That's all I ask of all of you. All right. Welcome, Carolyn. And I want to promise Mike, the golf tournament is August 11th. If you got an email that said the July, it is August 11th.
Thank you, President Splin. So this will be simple. This is going to require your participation, but first we'll start with the next slide. It's just good for us to have a touch point as we start our discussions and what we're thinking about, to go back to what is the mission and vision of Rotary. And I don't know how many of you have seen this before, but our mission collectively as Rotarians, we provide service to others, promote integrity and advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace through our fellowship of business, professional, and community leaders. That's all of us. And our vision collectively with other Rotarians throughout the world, together, we see a world where people unite to take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. So what we're going to do today is, if you recall a couple weeks ago for the thought of the day, I said that I was inspired by John Shirley, always listening to others. And so this is the opportunity for our board, our club leadership, to remember we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and listen to our club members. So as we do that, remember that we, as members of the Rotary Club of Livermore, are part of Rotary International. And our theme this year, as we heard, is to imagine. So imagine as you're together. So right now on Zoom, everybody on Zoom, you are going to break up into breakout rooms, and you'll have about 20 minutes in your breakout rooms. Hold on tight and then I'll explain what you're going to be talking about. And then in this room, we're going to go to tables. So this is going to require some of you to get up and move outside of your comfort zone. Maybe we want to be at tables with 5 to 6 people. So there are plenty of other tables around there. So Christian people probably have to come to you, or you move to a table, right? So back here, you guys have to break yourselves up, figure out how you do that. I don't want to have to be the kindergarten teacher and tell people to move. So figure it out, 5 to 6 at a table. So
Pentatonics over here, this group of 5 at our table, came up with, what do I want for my Rotary Club? We want projects that are effective and fun at the same time. People are not going to volunteer for a project if it's a drag. So effective and fun. Okay. What we also like about Rotary, about the meetings, is meeting new people, getting to know them, fellowship with people that we've already met. And this is how ideas get generated here too. So good thing for us to do there. This might be a repeat of number 1, but concrete benefits to the community and to the members. And that could be self-fulfillment as well. So let's see. One thing that people liked about the Rotary meetings is that we seem to be a musical club. The fact that we sing, the fact that we have the music scholarships, all seems to add into the enjoyment. We also like the fact that the club is apolitical. It's good to meet people from diverse backgrounds, and that comes in under meetings, I think, getting to know those people. We have visitors who come in all the time, and it's good to get to know them. Let's see. We had a concern, and this is about a concern. We have a concern. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm used to putting the mic up there when that happens. We have a concern, and that concern is our club seems to be, you know, Q-tips. We have white shoes and white hair, and we're getting up there in years. We think that we should maybe make a membership push, or maybe some sort of effort just to get to know more of the younger folks in town. You know, people like Carolyn and Sheila. So let's see. So, you know, maybe even have a presentation from some of the younger folks in town who could tell us about their perspectives on what's important in their lives. In the same vein as music, since we are a musical club, there was a request for a program, or maybe a series of program regarding trends in young folks around that music. So what, you know, K-pop and things like that. Of course,
All right, Joel, you have about, this is going to
I'm-
be a
I'm done.
one-way
Okay.
dialogue.
All right.
If you can wrap it up.
okay. And then finally, we enjoyed the flexibility provided by Zoom.
Okay,
All right.
thank you, Joel.
Next,
All right, who's next? Who's your,
pass the mic.
okay, Christian, you're going to keep this short and succinct, correct?
Unlike me.
All right. You ready? Yeah. On the personally, we want to create more, well, we like the camaraderie that we have among members and giving back in being involved in community services is gratifying. It's very, very fulfilling. So that's fulfilling also under the personally. Then while you're there under community service, again, the joy of giving back, the gratitude also to getting the word out there on the I don't know if you want to put it on the community service.
I'll decide where to put it. Just
Okay,
tell me
yeah.
what you have.
Let's get the word out. Social media, even plug this into your websites. It takes only one link, for community service, click here. You click into Rotary, right away. So increase awareness. Then on the meetings, good presenters with insightful and intriguing information. We would like to see people sit at different tables. We've tried this several years ago. I don't know, about 8 or 9 years ago. We tried, it worked only for about 2 weeks. Don't sit at the same table all the time. Change it around. And maybe I'm gonna monitor and find people that will do that. Also, let's do meeting check-ins. Meeting check-ins, every meeting, let's have a theme, maybe one question. What is one thing that's happening in your life right now that you're getting excited about? What one thing are you doing in the next 6 months that's exciting? What is one concern that bothers you, you could share among the tables? So we can have a breakout room and break out even for like 5 minutes.
Go on to, so
Next.
member check-ins.
Yeah, so then under my action, we promise to get more involved, everybody. Get more involved to get things done. See, then let's create also more opportunities for social interaction, like, social gatherings, nothing else, just happy hour. Happy hour, come in the evening and enjoy music and fun. We did so much of that a long time ago. I don't know why we stopped. And I think I covered most of the meeting check-ins, the different tables, social interaction. I think
right.
that's it.
All right,
Thanks so
great.
much.
Thank you, Christian. All right, Christian, pass your mic to the next table. I guess that's Gordon.
Difficulty reading this writing. It's mine. I don't repeat. We captured a lot of more social interaction, community participation, more of that. Now, on the weekly meetings, rather than 1.5 hours one way, especially if you want to get younger members who can't afford 1.5 hours, there should be more interaction, feedback from projects, feedback from club assemblies, the district board meetings, and provide another two-way back to the board. There's information and ideas that we may have. Also, we should leverage Interact more. They can help us and we can help them how to run projects so we can get repeatable processes. There's a lot of tribal knowledge here on how to run certain things like the crab feed. They could help with project management. We could teach them a lot how to do the projects, and we can see all the projects in a database, what's going on. And the other thing we wanted to stress that everybody should be involved in one committee or the other. And we should have a the knowledge base of what their skill set are to actually position them in that particular activity. So we're not leveraging members, and we should actually get feedback on exit interviews. You know, we've had some members, younger members leave. What were the reasons for that? One of them was lack of involvement. I know personally. So we should leverage Rotary International more extensively. And on the music education, we need to do a better job there of making sure that we're lobbying for more funding locally. That's a big one of Alan Frank's. That's all I have.
All right, thank you, Gordon.
Thank you. It is amazing how Rotarians all feel very similar. But on the personal side, we would like mentorship. That's a and importance to develop relationships with one another. And a couple of us mentioned how it's helped us build our confidence. On the meeting side, many of us felt that lunch is really important. It's a good way for us to show up early, get to know one another, and just break bread together. It's a big importance. Our meetings should be very welcoming and comfortable to all. I mentioned bringing back the greeters, especially for new people and guests. It's nice to come in and be acknowledged and recognized. I think we covered all of that. On the community, local and global side, continue what we're doing as far as grants to schools and teachers, donating to Polio Plus, of course, supporting our veterans. But something new we'd like to take on is the issue of homelessness. And some action items, definitely schedule some more social activities. Hikes were mentioned, and just more members only events to include their families, to get to know one another and our families. And definitely do something, you know, a membership drive or something to attract new members, invite them to meetings so we can bring up the next generation of Rotarians to carry us through the next 50 years plus. That's what we have.
All right, thank you, Kimberly and Mark.
Lots of similarities. So I'm going to go through a few here. So we liked getting to know other Rotarians, having a sense of connection, having a sense of camaraderie. We personally liked getting essentially the sense of accomplishment from hands-on projects. So that fell over in community service. On our meetings, we lunch came up as a topic. That would be very cool if we could figure out that tough nut. The idea on the program side is invite a nonprofit or a group of nonprofits to the community to tell us what they do. And of course, the flip side of that is to give us opportunities to maybe help on those items there. And then community speakers that particularly give local historical perspectives or different ones from the generation that's been here a long time about what came before. So getting to know our city from various perspectives. On the global side, we wanted to find out about opportunities for international actions. Of course, supporting those that the club already has, but seeing if there was an opportunity to find out about others. On the recruitment side, more younger members, especially those under 70. So we could really sort of drop the average age. And the individual actions that folks around the room were interested in doing was working on projects, attending meetings in person, sitting at a different table, drawing people out by doing what John Shirley does, ask questions about them. And for me, invite the new city manager to a meeting. So that was on my list of actions. All right.
Thank you, Mark and Paul.
Okay. maybe I'll stand here. Is that okay? So most of the things that we've talked about have already been mentioned. There's one big one here, which I circled, the sound system. Suggestion from one of the group here that we invest in a sound system for here, our own sound system. Those of you who remember, we did invest in the sound system at the Holiday Inn, whatever it was called then. It worked because this sound system isn't the best. A lot of it's from a personal point of view. We would like to see more comedy, more laughter, more humor, and more interesting programs. We would like to be able to recognize the members of our club through things that Splend can do directly, and that's find more people, give them an opportunity to tell them what have they done this week. And I'm looking at one now. I think, George, it's time you paid up here. I had one of our members whose name shall be not mentioned, Mike Thompson, keeps mentioning that the thought for the day is too long. I personally do not think it's too long. I think it's just right. But mainly, I think the main thing we agree, the main thing we agree is that the club needs to have more fun in the meetings, more interest, simply more fun, and we have more fun by getting to know each other more. And whatever we do, we can organize ourselves to have more fun, but it's our own personalities, which in some ways have to be overcome, because some of us are quieter and some of us are not. Oh yeah, new members. So when we bring a new member in, before he comes in or she comes in, maybe that person agrees to an assignation of a committee, and that person's committee work is followed, and he has a mentor, he or she has a mentor to help him in progressing on this committee.
All right, thank
Okay.
you, Paul. You can give your mic to Dennis, and then we'll invite the people on Zoom. So breakout room number 1. Who was the spokesperson for breakout room number 1?
I guess that's me.
Okay, Stu,
Okay, so,
on the big screen.
pardon me?
Go ahead and talk and you'll be on the big screen.
Okay, so let's see. We talked about things that we like as far as the Rotary is concerned, or contributing to the community, the satisfaction with doing good in the world, Polio Plus, community outreach that we do, things like the Maryland Avenue Back to School, and also talking about local support. We did discuss the idea of having more local support for the homeless and for those less fortunate within the Livermore community. We talked about, as far as meetings were concerned, the possibility of inviting people such as the principal of the Maryland Avenue School to come and talk about how they view what we do for the school. Also inviting just representatives of the community and representatives of of the recipients of things. Geez, I'm losing my train of thought. Sorry.
Representatives of our grants.
Of our grants. I'm sorry. Yes, exactly. Thank you. And then we also talked about the possibility of inviting community leaders, possibly the mayor or members of the city council, things like that, to come and speak to our meetings. On a personal level, I just hope to be able to contribute more to the group on a weekly or monthly basis. And let's see. Oh, as far also in meetings, the possibility, there used to be more pranks, just fun things like taking the bell or the gavel of the president, or giving fines in small amounts, as opposed to the large fines that seem to be more common. And one person mentioned that they wanted the songsters to continue. So anyway, that was about it.
All right. Thank you, Stu. So breakout room number 2, who was the recorder and a reporter? Who was the scribe for breakout room number 2?
I think it was a combination of me and Sonia.
Okay, so if you want to go ahead.
All right. Personally, this probably repeats what everybody else said: new friends, diverse interests, international connections with different perspectives. And let's see, what was the third thing? And that different perspective, it works both for meetings and personally, because as you make friends, you get different perspectives, not just the meeting, getting a perspective from a speaker. From the meetings, they want enlightening topics, fun interaction. With Zoom, we could try to invite people from out of the area that are dynamic speakers. Bring in more local people to keep us informed on what's happening within the community, and bring in the fire, the police, and the city, like maybe on an annual basis, to keep us in tune with what's happening with our local community from their perspective. Community, local, impact the community needs, international support a need, and have a chance to see that project to fruition. Also for community, we had community services number 1. That's the main reason that people join. Pat contributed one that I'm not sure we could use, but the Access project was fun and it was productive. And could we pick up projects and use the management of those projects with that template in mind, to make it easier to manage future projects? And let's see, what else do I have here? I think that was it. We never really got to how we would contribute, but I think you could actually say, if you're at the meetings and you're experiencing all the things that we'd like to see, then your attendance and your money that you put into the projects would be that contribution. Sonia, did you get anything else? We didn't get a chance to finish up our wrap up. Well, I guess.
Okay, and then the last group. So Ted, is that you?
That's me. Yes. Last but best. Well, you've mentioned everything we had on our list just about, but let me go through a couple of things. One is there was a mention of wanting to have more fellowship activities outside the meetings. For many years, we did the long walk as an example. There are other things like that that we think are important. In terms of speakers, we like speakers with some new information that we may not have known before. The COO of Gillig, when he came, was an example, but from the fields of education, science, and business, bring in people that give us some other insight into what those folks are doing. In terms of the meetings, yes, we'd all like to increase membership of the meetings. Well, we'd like to put on that the club should solve the COVID situation, number 1. That was a joke. And number 2, bring lunches back, and I think that was mentioned before. In terms of the other thing, we endorse the helping the hungry and the homeless in our community. Another thing we wanted to add is to develop a club connection to the foundation, to the Rotarian Foundation of Livermore, along with the other club, to look at, are there ways to partner on some of these community projects? The foundation just, as many people know, got an influx of money from Marty Plone's estate, and I think there's a lot of opportunities there that could be looked at. And another one is to really look at, is there a way to better foster the connection between some of the nonprofits that are out there? Because there are many of them in the Valley, there's hundreds of them, and sometimes I think we've thought that it'd be better if we could somehow connect them together so that if someone is working on homelessness, that there aren't 4 or 5 of them all trying to do the same thing. And I think those are the ones that don't repeat what's already up there.
All right, so I think that hopefully you found that this was a good opportunity for the board to listen and see what things jump off the page. A couple things to me were the kind of meetings, the interesting and variety of speakers. Zoom adds something there. There might be different ways to do that. That's there. People want to have fun, whether that's in a meeting or back to this more just social events. And then also have kind of two-way communication in meetings, not always just one way. But we really appreciate that we get to meet a group of people. If you look around the room, you could probably say for yourself, how many of these people did you know before you were a Rotarian? Right? So keep that in mind of how important that is. And then we're not just even in our valley here and in Livermore, we're not just ourselves, but could we have interactions with the Morning Club and RFL, and how do we work together then? Because we gain a lot from being a Rotarian, and we gain a lot of satisfaction from doing service projects. I think we still want to have service projects that are meaningful and that make an impact in the community, yet we have fun doing it at the same time. Or even if we have to get dirty doing it or end up with some bruises from using a shovel, we have a sense of satisfaction, right? That we can just get out there and know that we're serving our community. And then how can homelessness is a great big problem. What's our role in helping to resolve that in our community?